Imagine this: countless founders just like you, brilliant minds, restless souls, driven by a fire burning so fiercely inside, falling into the same trap again and again. It's a trap disguised as opportunity, hidden behind the shiny offers, the tempting checks, the applause of yes from investors who seem to hold the key to the future. But here's the brutal truth nobody tells you loudly enough. That investor deal, the one that seems like your breakthrough, the one that everyone says you need to say yes to, can shackle you tighter than any contract ever could. It's the trap where even the smartest founders stumble and lose pieces of their vision, their control, their very selves. This trap doesn't scream danger. It whispers sweet lies. It tells you that money equals freedom, that securing this round will unlock your true potential, that an investor's validation means your idea is finally real, that you're making it. But in reality, what's often handed over is a cage disguised as wings. And before you even realize it, you're trapped in expectations, deadlines, compromises that chip away at the very reason you started. You're trading your future for a short burst of liquidity. You're selling a piece of your soul to a game that wasn't built to favor the fire in your belly, the edge you push against. Take a moment and feel that sinking feeling deep in your chest. That moment when you know the pitch isn't about your dream anymore, but about projections. When your discussion moves from what could we build to how fast can we grow. When each ask from your investors feels more like a command than a partnership. When you realize that your passion is being measured in spreadsheets and suddenly the numbers matter more than your vision. That's the trap talking. And it's cruel because it preys on your hunger for progress, on your willingness to sacrifice everything to grow. They don't want you to see this coming. The system around founders and investors is built to celebrate the deal, to glorify the funding secured headline. But it rarely highlights the hidden cost. It's not just about dilution of shares or board seats. It's about dilution of your autonomy, your ability to steer the ship when storms hit. It's about being boxed in by timelines you didn't set, priorities you didn't choose. And the worst part? It dulls that rare, dangerous spark, the one that made you want to start something new, the one that refuses comfort, the one that doesn't settle. But here's where the story changes, because you don't have to fall into this trap. Not if you recognize the red flags, not if you trust that fire inside you over the noise outside. The solution isn't hiding in getting more money faster or finding the next shiny investor. It's in redefining what power means for you as a founder before the pitch, not after. It's about reclaiming control, saying no to money on terms that steal your freedom, and yes to partnerships that amplify your vision without muting your voice. This means building with fierce intentionality, not just who throws cash at you, but who's aligned with the raw, unfiltered version of who you are and who you want to become. Look beyond the surface, beyond the titles and the checks, and seek those few who get that this is about transformation, not just transactions. Your investors must be collaborators, not controllers, allies, not overlords, partners who fuel your growth by expanding your freedom, not limiting it. And here's a secret rarely spoken aloud. Real power as a founder comes not from chasing validation, but from owning every decision, even when that means walking away from deals that don't fit. Because what looks like rejection today could be the very liberation that lets your vision breathe tomorrow. Yes, walking away is terrifying. Yes, it's a path less taken. But it's the path where you don't just create a startup, you build a legacy rooted in your true values and real impact. This mindset flips the old script. Instead of letting investors define the timeline, the exit, the scale, You lead that conversation. You challenge every assumption handed down. You insist on clarity, on honesty, on radical respect for what you're building. You refuse to let your fate be decided by formulas or norms that don't reflect the reality you're trying to create. You claim sovereignty over the future of your company as fiercely as you did the moment you said yes to the idea that sparked this whole journey. Start by asking the hard questions before you ever shake hands or sign a paper. Who really benefits if this deal happens? What freedom am I willing to give up? And what freedom is non-negotiable? Is this investor ready to back me or just my best-case scenario? Am I building to please them or to serve the people waiting for something fresh and real? These questions will save you from silence after the fact when the costs start piling up and the compromises creep in. And here's what no one else tells you. The right money will feel like oxygen, not chains. When you find that, the energy shifts completely. You become unstoppable because your ecosystem, investors, advisors, partners, lights the way, not blocks it. This network respects the rare, the radical, the ones who refuse to settle. It's not about fitting into someone else's framework. It's about breaking frameworks to build worlds, together. None of this is easy to see up front. The system trains you to rush, to obsess over speed, to fear missing out. But the biggest breakthroughs come to those who dare to slow down, who dare to question the shiny scripts and listen to the discomfort in their gut, who dare to say no before they say yes. Because the cost of yes can be your ability to invent your future on your own terms. And no fast money is worth that price. So here's the call that whispers in that dark place inside every founder who's burning for something more. Stop chasing a deal. Start building a movement. Connect with the few, not the many. Create networks so fierce they make the rules obsolete. Unlearn the way the world says success has to look. Stake your claim on the edge, where growth isn't about numbers, but about becoming more than anyone imagined possible. Where your company isn't just a startup, but a spark that lights new worlds in the minds of other rare founders. Think about what happens when you align deeply with your investors, not just with dollars, but with purpose. When your backers become your partners in radical transformation. When you refuse to be processed through a system that rewards mediocrity and instead become part of the few who are wired to shift the fabric of reality itself. This is how legacies are born, not from comfort, but from fierce, unyielding refusal to settle for less. You don't need to fit a mold laid out by gatekeepers who don't see your fire. You only need to find the right links, those joints of fierce synergy, where your brilliance meets theirs. From there, your path becomes not just about surviving the trap, but transcending it altogether. Becoming a founder who doesn't just build companies, but who builds freedom. Whose handshake is not a surrender, but a mutual extension of power and vision. Whose story challenges the very rules that tried to cage it. In a world obsessed with scaling noise and copying what's safe, be the rare signal. Let the fire inside you be the weapon that cuts through illusions of comfort and freedom sold like a lie. You were not meant to borrow life or play small. You were made to break molds, to burn bridges that limit you, and to create links that unleash energy beyond the norm. This is your rebellion, refusing to fall into the trap that dims your light for a quick hit. Instead, you own your story, your timing, your future. Because when you finally break out, forged in your truth, aligned with the right few, wielding your will like a sword, there's nothing left to hold you back. Not investors demanding control, not systems built to contain you, only your own relentless drive to create, to transform, and to become what the world thought impossible. This isn't just a business. It's the liberation of your spirit made real, the awakening of your power as a true founder who refuses the trap and writes their own rules. So watch closely, think fiercely, and let this be the moment where the cage cracks, for every founder who refuses to be less than their fire. The trap that catches so many vanishes when you learn to see it for what it is, an illusion. An old story turned on its head by the few brave enough to rewrite the game. You have that power. Now go claim it.